Welcome back to Modeling Manhood, Day 4. Ever had one of those days where things just didn't go as you had expected? You probably have. And one of those days for me was my 10th birthday party. My cousins and I decided it would be fun to have a mud ball war. So we started throwing mud at each other, and before long we decided we would start throwing mud balls at vehicles as they came in parked for the party. So we got up on top of one of the sheds and were chasing vehicles as they went by, throwing mud balls at them and just having a good old time. Well, on one bad step, I ended up running down the barn and I fell through one of the weak spots in the roof. And as I fell through the roof, my head ended up hitting the log splitter that we had stored underneath. And the remainder of my birthday was spent in the ER room getting stitched up and catered to, while everybody else was enjoying birthday cake and ice cream and all the other festivities. This reminds me of a story in Judges chapter 7, where a man named Gideon was called by God. Gideon was not prepared to go to battle. He was actually hiding from the Lord in a wine press, but God called him a man of valor. When they went to battle, it tells us that 32,000 men came out to fight. And in verse 2, God says, "Gideon, you have too many men." He goes, "Send home all the men that are afraid." And what was left was 10,000 men. And in verse 4, God says, "Gideon, there's still too many men." And at this point, Gideon's probably wondering, "Lord, what are you going to do? We had these plans to defeat this enemy of ours, the Midianites, and now you've taken 32,000 men and made them 10,000 men. And he goes, "I want you to put your men to a test." And this was the test. So he has 10,000 men. He goes, "Take all the men down to the brook." And when they got down to the water, he says, "I want you to observe how the men drink their water. Do they bow and put their head in the water and drink? Or do they cup the water and lap the water?" And he goes, "Keep the men that lap the water." And Gideon was left with 300 men that lapped the water. And with those 300 men, God was able to go into battle. Not saying Gideon went into battle. God went to battle with 300 men and defeated the Midianites. So I want to ask you, when your days get flipped upside down, just think, God still has things under control. Expect the unexpected. What is God going to do in your life today? Maybe you're not going to miss out on a birthday party because of a log splitter to the head. Maybe 32,000 supporters are going to be down to 300. But you know what? God is still in control. Give him the glory today. And remember, mirror your Maker and journey with Jesus today.